The sun is setting on Friday, September 25th. It's about 6:07 p.m. And it's the perfect time for the moon to be rising. It should be coming pretty soon, just over there, over my shoulder, rising in the east, on the horizon over that direction. For my science investigation project, my question was asked, how and why does the moon's appearance change? Of course, this is referring to the different moon phases that cycle throughout the month. Um, my initial thoughts and my initial answer to this question was because the moon's appearance changes. It changes because it is orbiting around the Earth and receives different amounts of sunlight depending on its location. So that is my initial idea, my initial hypothesis, and my first thoughts. Some call it Luna, and others call it cheese, but most know it as the moon. Our planet just has the one, and it is the largest and only natural satellite that circles around our planet. The moon takes about 29 days to orbit around Earth, and in that time, the view, or the phase, changes. And what this means is that the shape and appearance of the moon will change every single night. Uh, and it's very, very important because it'll tell us a little bit more about where the moon is located and how it might affect our weather and our oceans. This scientific investigation, oh man, I hope that this is all recording. So in order to have a successful scientific investigation, you're going to need to have your students be actively involved with uh, looking outside their windows, checking out on the stars and looking for the moon each and every single night for about a month for them to really be able to grasp the different types of phases of the moon and being able to see what they look like and how they progress each and every single evening. So some of the different materials that I would definitely recommend that you have parents and family members get for their children would include a good pair of binoculars in case their family has a set. It would be very, very valuable, especially for this project and for this investigation. And with that, uh, you could also have a telescope, such as this one. It's very, very helpful, and it allows students to get a closer look upon the moon and sort of get an idea of why exactly it is in the phase it is in relation to our planet as well as the sun behind the planet. One of the resources that you will be able to use when doing this scientific investigation project comes from the National Science Teachers Association, and they use the book called Picture Perfect Science Lessons. I'm going to be using the uh, the lesson all about the changing moon. It's a very, very valuable resource. It has the different suggested grade levels, lesson objectives, different picture books that you can use in the class, including Rise the Moon, the Moon Book, and Papa Please Get the Moon for Me. It includes things such as materials, time needed, as well as different things that students will be able to use. It gives you a background on what you will need to know about the moon, which can be very, very valuable if you have limited knowledge and history studying and researching the moon and its different phases. As you go down, you'll be able to see a photo that talks a little bit about how you could explore in your own classroom using an activity including a pencil and a styrofoam ball, using shadows on the wall to see the ways that the planet Earth will get in the way of the sun and change the reflection of the sunlight on the moon. It goes into a great emphasis and detail on explaining how the moon changes its phases. And most importantly, once you get a little bit farther down, you'll see the Moon Journal, which will probably be the most useful resource for you while you're teaching your students about the moon and its different phases. So this takes you week by week, day by day, and what the students will go day by day, doing their best to observe the moon. It will be a little bit tricky because, of course, uh, different times the moon may or may not be visible because of cloud coverage or simply because it's a new moon. So it's just completely impossible to see at night, or even because students will probably be going to bed hopefully before 10 o'clock at night. So that makes it a little bit challenging. Uh, so they'll have to do their best to pay close attention as late at night as they can stay up and early into the morning before they go to school to try and record what moon phase they see. But it's a very, very useful resource. It'd be a very useful um, way to keep their observation notes. There's also several other different worksheets and activities that the students will be able to do to show their understanding of what's being taught in regards to the moon. There's different ways that they can um, sort of process their knowledge before learning a certain idea about the moon cycles, and then after reading an article or doing a discussion about it. So it'll sort of be a good way to see if they are beginning to understand what's being taught. There's also small assessments, as well as a retelling book that they can use. So this is an amazing resource, and it has a wealth of information for both teachers and students in their understanding and their appreciation of the different phases of the moon. Another very, very useful resource that students will be able to use with their families at home in this research project will be using a website called timeanddate.com/moon/USA/Erie. And this website basically, depending on your location in the world, will show you when the moon is going to rise that day, as well as when is it going to set. And it also shows you what moon phase was last seen, where you're at right now, and what's going to be coming. So in about 2 days, there's going to be a full moon. And not only that, but it's going to be very special because there's going to be a total lunar eclipse on Sunday. And this is actually really unique because this hasn't happened since 1982, and it's not going to happen again until 2033. It's only happened about 5 or 6 times in the last 100 years or so. They're calling it a supermoon eclipse, so hopefully it won't be too terribly cloudy for that.
Science.